Yeah, welcome into the Wednesday edition. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Wednesday morning, presented by Green Ventures Landscaping, outdoor patios, landscaping design, lawn maintenance, and more. Visit greenventureslandscaping.com. We are live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Joe Rexrode, good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. We're looking good today, especially you. And I'm feeling good today. You know, I enjoyed the Chicago Cubs win last night. The Detroit Tigers' fourth straight win last night as they get within like a game of the wild card. Well, the Cubs beat the Dodgers. I forget who was pitching for the Dodgers, but he kind of got shelled a little bit. And he also gave up 4 runs and lost. But hey, let's talk about the 6 game. I'm
Yeah.
I'm not bitter.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sad that happened.
Let me ask you this. Are we in the trade now that they just continue to win and are back in the thick of things in the race here?
No, not the Skubal trade. It's just too much. And we'll see if the return, pans out. But it's just too much to just lose for nothing, right? Now, I wasn't thrilled that they traded Casey Mize with like 1 second left until the deadline, because to me, you have a real chance with him in the rotation, I think, to get to the postseason the way you're playing right now, and now you're taking that action too. So, and again, the return, we'll see. It's it's history. I think a lot of baseball fans would relate to this. And you go back and when you trade a lot of these great players, and you look back at the returns, or the other way around when you were buyers. And man, a lot of those prospects don't pan out. I swear, it seems like it's such a low hit rate.
Good news is you got 2 years to get them ready, and just as long as they're ready to go by 2028, they'll be fine. Because I don't think we're playing next year.
That is true. Yeah, that's true. Got a lot of calisthenics next year.
Do a lot of coaching, like Zoom meetings.
Get in the cage, man.
Yeah.
Get in the cage a lot. Yeah.
Get there and just start swinging the bat, buddy.
Yeah.
A lot of reps to take.
So you may as well go for it this year.
Be a while before we're back at it again.
Yeah. Oh, well.
That's going to be fun. Ian, how we doing? What's going on?
Good morning. And thanks. Not a lot going on. Just, been up with the camp yesterday, getting ready for school next week with the fam. So, not a whole lot going on. Doing well, though. Thanks. Happy hump day.
Happy hump. We have Kuharsky from Kuharsky.com with us later in the program of the day. He will be with us in the 7 o'clock hour. So a little bit of a different schedule today for PK with Titan training camp. We will have PK joining us in the 7 o'clock hour today. It is fall camp opening up today for Tennessee and Vanderbilt, and we will get into that a little bit later in the program as well, including an actual time that we'll get into a little bit. Yeah. So, yesterday, but we began with for the Tennessee Titans. Yes. And you're saying camp filtered in that Jeffrey Simmons is involved in some sort of kerfuffle out there, and boy was he yesterday. Got kicked out of practice for throwing a punch. So rather than retreating inside and I guess basically getting the day off, he went to the second field over there, got his work in over there, stayed out in the heat, all those things. But Jeffrey Simmons getting tangled up with Schlotman and J.C. Latham. He throws a punch as all that's going on. And Robert Saleh's policy is you throw a punch in a game, you're getting kicked out. Well, you're getting kicked out. And we saw on the second day of Tennessee Titans batted practice.
In J.C. by the way. Oh, one of this I have to ask, like, does Jeff Simmons really not like J.C. Latham? I mean,
could be.
It's a fair to ask, but Latham play and get hit like this, and you'll be okay. So, Jeff ends up mad some way quite a bit. Yeah. So
I just go up here. Simmons, I'll take it up, joined in there, and Simmons came off, remained on, which I play. one.
I would, yes. Big Jeff Brown, especially. Keep that helmet on, man.
You know, and I'm also glad that apparently like Simmons threw and didn't really connect. Is like you want Jeffrey Simmons throwing punches and hitting somebody in the helmet and like breaking his hand. That'd be great.
Right. Yeah.
Let's avoid that moving forward.
Yeah. So the obvious contrast here is that Robert Saleh kicked him out of practice.
Yep.
He explained it after. Very simple, and it's basically you throw a punch in a game, you're ejected. So that's you should follow that practice in practice. So there you go, you're out of practice. So that's good. And that is a contrast to Brian Callahan. At least I don't remember exactly with Simmons. Did he just totally stay practicing, or is it just that?
Oh yeah,
everybody thought like the next practice he should be out. And he
I think he did it for. If memory serves me correct, Callahan incident. The incident itself came like way late in practice.
Yeah, so like the end of practice. It was like the next one he should be out.
Right.
So,
So
here's another reason why the last guy sucked and you're awesome. But no, the right thing to do.
Right.
It's the right thing to do.
For me, Jefferson's got it. Like I said, at that point, like what I just said. The thing I need, and the last thing Titans fans need, is Jeffrey Simmons breaking his hand on somebody's helmet because he's mad and he throws a punch. All right. I mean, look, on emotions run high, all those things. I mean, Saleh kind of laughed about it yesterday and said, yeah, it probably won't be the last one. So I think he knows that moving forward. But, I mean, when you start throwing punches, particularly with football equipment on and you got helmets on, what I'm more concerned about than the punches themselves is you, like, breaking your finger or breaking your hand on the helmet, and then all of a sudden you're out a few weeks because you broke your hand in a training camp practice fight.
Yeah, swinging on anyone with a helmet on is just crazy, actually.
Yeah.
It really is.
I don't think it's going to give you the desired effect if you're doing that.
Yeah, you are saying I'm about to hurt myself more than you.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Let's do it. But again, glad that it apparently didn't connect all that well. Something that did connect well yesterday, Joe. Did you see the big deep shot the Titan social media was all quick to point out of the Carnell Tate catch down the field?
Yes, that no one else was allowed to take
No
video of, but they got the video. And they got the videos. You know, it is there is something to the obviously team stuff. They don't want their route concepts out there and all that stuff, right? So it is like the video is very much it's like ground level and it's just sort of like boom and hits the ball in the air and so it's even the way they shoot it is sort of like so if we get something awesome, we're not giving it away.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a nice play. The fans on hand enjoyed it.
They did.
You want to see as much of that as possible during this camp.
You would like
Cam
to see
Ward throwing a Carnell Tate.
A deep connection from Ward to Tate. Hopefully a thing here for a long time. But
That's right.
Got a glimpse of it yesterday at Titans training camp. And again, anytime you can make some big plays in camp, I'm all for it. So good stuff from Carnell Tate. I mean, I would we talked about this in the offseason. We talked about this after he got drafted. And based on everything that people talk about around him, like I feel like he is going to be ready to contribute right away. Now, what's the level of contribution we're going to see? I don't know. That's going to be interesting to find out. But, we saw him do it in college, and I know it's easy to look at Tate at Ohio State and just say, well, it's Ohio State. There's nobody within 8 yards of him ever, and Jeremiah Smith's on the other side, and I get all that. But he made some big plays down the field at Ohio State. Catch radius pretty good. Ability to go up and high point the ball pretty good. And anytime you'll see a connection in an actual football setting with pads on and all these things between Ward and Tate, I'm here for it. I think Titans fans are allowed to get excited about that stuff.
Absolutely. And on it, never going to be a perfect day, but I guess you could say that yesterday was a response from Cam Ward just overall.
Sure.
No one coming away with any, severe mistakes or major misfire concerns. So
that's good.
Yeah.
What you need to see.
That's right.
Doesn't have to be, like I said yesterday, doesn't have to be every day, but need to be more often. than we've seen so far. So good stuff from Cam Ward. And again, the highlight from yesterday is the Ward to Tate connection down the field. The Titans, according to those on hand, tweeted out in like 5 minutes. So like, let's get this out there. Let's go ahead and get the play for Ward to Tate out there. So that's
absolutely good. You got to do it. They're on Ward at all times.
Should be. We were off the road today. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Again, Paul Kuharsky with us to begin the 7 o'clock hour today rather than the 8 o'clock hour, or really 7:30 when he normally gets here. But 7 o'clock, PK will be the pro. More. We will get in the Vols and the door all camp. This hour, Robby and Rexrode 105 the game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode 1025 the game. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Get the video stream worked out to get Rexrode's beautiful face back on there. Ed pointing out that as soon as Joe got back on the feed, that the audio went choppy. Thinks the software wants Joe on mic one. I think that's a good idea. I think we should switch back and forth.
Ed's obsessed with how bad I am on mic one. Ed loves that stuff.
Oh, you think he's not being real?
Oh, Ed likes to make fun of me on mic one all the time. Why? So I'm on this new program that Ian just sent me, and my face is huge. Look at that. Okay.
Ian,
That's
anything
better.
you can do about that?
God. I mean,
The
it's
size
already,
of the face.
it's already
We will
big
workshop
enough.
back here.
We're going to workshop. Don't worry about it, Joe. It's going to be all right.
Yeah. Look away, everyone. Look away.
Ian can do anything. I mean, my dad got delayed at the Orlando airport because of a radar issue in Nashville yesterday, and he was like, "Hey, send Ian out there, see if we can't get that figured out. See what we can do. See what we can do." Taking your thoughts on the Titans, 615-737-1025. Multiple people pointing out, hey, look at Salah
Yeah.
holding Jeff Simmons accountable out there. So that's good. We'll see what happens on that front. Look, I think in terms of like coaches for Jeffrey Simmons, I mean, Robert Saleh is going to be a great fit for Jeffrey Simmons. So that part of it, I'm not worried about. Like, maybe this is too simple, Joe, but it is. I kind of thought about this with Mike McDaniel down there in Miami. Like, you could see some of these like nerdy looking dudes hold guys accountable. I mean, it does happen, right? Like, there are different ways to do it. But I do look at Robert Saleh like, yeah, probably a little bit easier for that dude to hold Jeffrey Simmons accountable than it was Brian Callahan.
Yeah, like, and sorry to invoke his name, but I mean that's where the Vrabel. That's where it's like they've kind of gone back to the Vrabel thing, right? I mean, even beyond just the fact that he's huge and could suit up and probably at least like cover a punt, if nothing else, or go in there on goal line or something. He is a culture coach, and yeah, some of that is like. You have to respect him. Like, there is some level of just like basic brute caveman respect that you either have or don't in football. And he has it. Brian Callahan.
It's kind of what people
shut up, nerd.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
it's like when you walk around, people look at you and they say, yeah, I better do what this guy says.
Exactly. I walk by
whereas Kuharsky walks around and it's like, I'm not going to do what this guy says,
I mean, you said it, not me, Stop, please. Like, what's like I assume he's got this messed up schedule of his because of class, Be quiet, everybody, quiet. I got an important lesson for you.
Get out your syllabus, please.
Oh God, syllabus.
I need your syllabus.
I gotta find Kuharsky's syllabus.
Me too.
Like I was saying off the air.
Don't talk ever. I'm talking, not you.
I advise Belmont students, if you're taking journalism classes, there's another professor named Jill Jelnick. You might want to look that direction if you can, if it works out with your schedule. I'm just saying.
Oh, man.
Glad that we can just, just go ahead and
Why not?
Take shots at Kuharsky for no reason.
Why not?
Sure.
He'll be with us here in just a few minutes. I will say, we're not going to find out exactly what this looks like until week 1 comes up. I am very intrigued to see the effect that Simmons and John Franklin Myers together has on the rest of that defense, because we talked yesterday about Jermaine Johnson and the edge rushing part of it. And that to me is like when you start getting in the best case scenario of, all right, if you can get, 7.5, 8 sacks from Jermaine Johnson, plus Keldrick Falk comes along as a rookie and Femi Oladejo takes a big step as a second-year player. That's best case scenario, along with John Franklin Myers and Jeffrey Simmons. I don't know how likely it is for all of those things to happen. We'll see what that looks like. But I feel really good about John Franklin Myers and Jeffrey Simmons together up the middle. And I just, Simmons had early in his career, he had Danico Autry with him, right? And that was a clear benefit, not only to him, but to Autry. I mean, the strength of the team at one point, beyond Derrick Henry, was that front four, right? I mean, especially when Dupree was healthy, which I know wasn't as often as they wanted it to be.
But for the back half of that year.
But for the back half of that year, it's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
And then it kind of manifested itself in the playoff game, which I think is what made it sting even more. They had 8 sacks in that game? Like
7. And
7.
You generally don't lose a game.
Yeah.
In which you have that many sacks.
And they were just dominating out there. So, it's been a minute since Jeffrey Simmons has had somebody with him that I think is anywhere near the level of John Franklin Myers. So I'm very interested to see if Jeffrey Simmons is what he was last year, and you pair that with John Franklin Myers. What are we talking about here in terms of of how effective that is going to be for this defense?
Well, I think you could be talking about just about as good as it gets in terms of an interior tandem. I mean, I don't want to be super homer here, but I know like, Aaron Donald if he comes back. But that's the stars of that, of course, are Garrett and Donald, an edge and an interior guy. Yeah. Obviously they've got Fisk in there still and whatever. But I think it could be probably just about as good as it gets in this league. I think that is possible, and I'm trying to imagine. Like, will a Titans edge player be doubled this year? It's like,
if so, that would be good news for the Titans that it developed to that point.
Yeah, those guys are. It's just obvious if you're any team looking at the Titans this year, if it's what it looks like it's going to be, and that's the whole concern is like those guys just blowing it up inside, and in this defense, which is just straight up upfield go. Now you can hit teams with traps and stuff like that. There's always ways to attack any defense, but with those two guys, with the style of defense and with what they are, any edge on this team should be thrilled about the opportunity they have, because like those guys are going to occupy a lot of attention.
They're going to occupy a lot of attention, and I think even with the attention that they occupy, it's going to be a heck of a combo for the Titans up the middle there. So, one of the things that's bothered me about the Titans over the last few years is I don't think they've been as stout against the run as they've needed to be. My expectation for this group, they ought to be pretty good defending against the run. When you're talking about Jeffrey Simmons, John Franklin Myers, plus, by the way, Cedric Gray taking a big step last year. You've drafted Anthony Hill. Like, you ought to be in a pretty good position this year. And I would even throw Falk in this. Like, Falk coming in as a rookie with the versatility that he's got there. Like, this should be a team that is very good against the run, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think other than teams can sometimes take advantage of the style, of the way they defend.
Which the Titans, by the way, kind of did the Solis defense last year with Pollard.
Yeah, right. So that's there's a cat and mouse always schematically, but I agree. I mean, overall, there's no reason they shouldn't be like top 10-ish against the run. I apologize. I said 7. It is 9. 9 sacks.
Oh, the sacks in the playoff game? Yeah, 9.
God, that's right. 9 freaking sacks. How do you lose a game that you have 9 freaking sacks?
Quarterback
of the opposing quarterback
turns around and hands the ball to the other team 3 times.
Yeah, that's how. And it is also still amazing that despite being sacked 9 times, he threw for 348 yards in that game.
It really is. It's a pretty wild game when you go back and think about it, and a pretty consequential game in terms of the history of this franchise.
Yeah, we still talk about it quite a bit. We still go back to that day. That was the day.
That's where it turned.
That was when the Roman Empire crumbled on that day.
That's where it turned.
Yeah.
A lot of things happened in the aftermath of that.
George from Murfreesboro would like us to do the Kuharsky voice. Well, I almost had to do that for a whole show, which, boy.
Oh, that would have been special.
That would have seriously been the worst show in radio history.
No, I think it could have been the best.
I mean, my God.
I was very much looking forward to it.
The Knicks, I wonder if they would have beat the Thunder.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. They're the champs, man.
No, I know, but I'm just curious, how many games they would have won against OKC, how that could have looked.
I meant to text you this, Ian. I was in the airport a lot over the last week. A lot of New York Knicks shirts that I saw. I was like, I've never seen any of these before. I mean, just everywhere. Okay. Orlando, Nashville, you name it. I was like, wow.
Well, I mean,
a lot of Knicks stuff going on.
We were in New York, obviously, so there was a decent amount of Knicks stuff. I was looking for some stuff for all of us, for some swag. I didn't find exactly what I was looking for. We went to the NBA store.
Oh, nice.
And they had some cool stuff there. But it wasn't just Knicks, They had a good Knicks section, of course, downstairs with a bunch of championship shirts and a bunch of cool jerseys and some old school stuff. But then, of course, it's the NBA store. So they had Steph Curry and Giannis and all the other stuff and Luka. It was fun. We didn't go by, we were in Chinatown. I was hoping maybe we could find some cool shirts there, something that might be a little bit off the beaten path. We didn't go to Madison Square Garden area.
We're good, man.
So
we're good.
We should have gone there, maybe looked for something there. But yeah, no such luck yet.
In 1989, I was actually thrilled living in Virginia that I found like a Pistons shirt at like a Sears and Roebuck or something. I was like, oh my God, a Pistons championship shirt in the mall. I bought it.
I just want to know what happens with all the championship shirts that get printed that of the team that loses. That's what I want to see.
I know
Where do they
you
go?
never see those.
Yeah.
Like to me,
gotta
that,
go
that
somewhere.
would right. I mean, I think they like get rid of them because I mean, like that would be such a cool thing to be able to wear, right? A Dewey defeats Truman
somewhere.
sports shirt.
Look, K-Dot on the YouTube chat is talking about like the Cincy game being this generation of Titans fans' version of the 1 yard short. Like there is somewhere out there. There's a Tennessee Titans Super Bowl shirt that somebody's got that was just totally discarded after the Rams beat them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, like the equipment like a niece or nephew of like someone in the equipment staff of that type. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I snuck one away.
Yeah.
All the others were incinerated, but I
got
said,
one.
Yeah, I got one. I hadn't thought about that game would be like this generation's.
It's very different.
Yeah, very different. You're so
it
you're
is-
so close to the ultimate with the other one, whereas this was what you hoped would be the start of that. I mean, to me, it was more like the latest in the line of the trifecta of Baltimore, Cincinnati, 3 games that you should have won at home with 3 teams that could have made runs.
3 teams that could have made runs, and this was, I mean, the Cincy game out of all of them, probably the most winnable game, and whoop, didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, those Baltimore teams were very good, but they still like the Titans should have beat
Should have
them.
beat
I mean, yeah.
Should
I
have
mean,
beat them.
that Baltimore, the first one did win it all.
They did.
In fact, wait a minute. Did they win it all both times? There?
Now, the first one won it all. Then the year that the Titans lost to the Ravens again, I think it's Steelers.
That was the
won all year.
Steelers Cardinals
Think so,
year. Yeah. Sorry to bring it up, everybody.
It's a tough one.
I
615
blame K-Dot.
737-1025. Our phone number. Fall camp opening up for Tennessee and Vanderbilt today. Josh Heupel's press conference yesterday got a little spicy. We'll get into that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Joe enjoying Scooble getting lit up on the highlights here in the studio.
That's a tough one, buddy. It's too bad. That looks like that's bad luck, isn't it? That's just bad. Ah, boy. Yeah, that's how it happens. The high chopper. They got you, Tarek. Thanks for the memory.
Dodgers about to be just totally unraveled here, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Sure they won't win the World Series again.
Is there any way someone could beat them this fall?
Come on, Braves.
Please?
Let's go.
Braves, maybe the Braves.
Come on.
I mean, maybe the Cubbies.
Maybe.
Cubbies are good.
I thought the Brewers were good this
Come
year.
on,
Brewers are
Brewers.
good. Brewers are good. All of them could have tried to get in there and offer something better to my Tigers, but I'll just cowardly sat there and let the Dodgers do it. Good job.
Fall camp opening up today for Tennessee and Vanderbilt. So college football season now getting underway with practices. And before you know it, the end of this month will come around and college football games will be here. So we are right on the doorstep of college football. I guess, technically, quarterback battles for a couple of different for both SEC programs here. Look, everybody assumes that Jared Curtis is going to end up starting for Vanderbilt at some point, and I would throw myself into that category as well. That probably sooner rather than later, you'll see Jared Curtis starting at quarterback for Vanderbilt. George McIntyre and Faison Brandon both addressing the media yesterday as Tennessee gets launched today in fall camp. But not the headline yesterday of the quarterback battle. The headline was Josh Heupel addressing the Arian Carter situation that we've discussed on the show, where he is now suspended for the first 2 games of the season after the $427 flight that he took. Heupel went on a very long, basically diatribe yesterday about the Arian Carter situation and used some choice language in the middle of the press conference. Here's what Josh Heupel had to say yesterday.
Ruling that came out from the NCAA, the 2-game suspension, I truly believe is bull. You look at the landscape of college football, the rules from NIL, everything. I think the ruling is completely outdated.
So he went on. It was probably, I don't know, 5 minutes of him just up there just ranting about,
Which is not like him.
It's not like him, which is the Arian Carter situation. So my takeaway from it, Joe, was clearly this really bothers him, and I think there have been some other things that have happened before that have there. I was like, oh, okay, here we go. Look, we've joked about Josh Heupel press conferences before. They're pretty rough, man, and I think it's by design. Like, he just doesn't say a whole lot.
Rough as in
setting.
boring.
Yeah. Like, it's just boring. He doesn't say anything, and he's not unlike a lot of other coaches that operate that way. But he just he basically goes out of his way not to say a whole lot at the press conferences. He said a lot yesterday, which I found to be very interesting, and he is clearly very upset about this Arian Carter ruling that the NCAA has come down with.
Good for him. Good for him. I say I applaud the profanity. I support it. I support the profanity. And he should be mad. Now, I guess we'll wait for Big Joe's response today.
I guess we will.
Sorry, Josh. A rule is a rule. The Unabomber broke a rule. Arian Carter broke a rule. Can't see much difference. This will never end, Big Joe. This will never end.
I haven't brought up the Unabomber in a long time.
Sorry. You went to the University of Michigan, by the way. Just saying.
Well, seeing what goes on at these universities in Michigan, I don't guess that surprises me all that much.
Yeah,
any update on the meth lab situation at Michigan State?
Meth cooking doesn't seem so bad now, does it?
It sure doesn't.
That's right.
It sure doesn't.
Small potatoes.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like this is going to change for Tennessee, but I did find that to be I'm trying to think of the Josh Heupel press conferences since he's been there that have been remotely interesting. Like the Nico one, obviously, after he left was pretty interesting. And then you've got yesterday. Other than that, it hadn't been a whole lot since he's been the head coach at Tennessee.
I think that's the first time I've heard him curse.
Yeah, definitely in that setting.
In a press conference for sure, right?
Yeah.
Salah's already dropped 1 or 2, I think, and he's already been barely been the Titans
5
coach.
minutes,
Yeah, that's probably the only time at a presser that I can think of. Yeah, it's I mean, other things have ticked him off over the years, but I can't really remember him like using a press conference to like the way he did. And again, I totally, I get it, and good for him. I'm not necessarily going to help him much, but got to say your piece on this. It's just every time I think of this, I get mad all over again. It's so bad, and there's so much going on right now. This is so far down the list of things for the NCAA. I mean, right now you've got a ruling where you got all these athletes now flooding back into college sports because they sued because they didn't get their 5th year. Zakai Ziegler is trying to do this, and he's like a year removed out of this. Yeah. So they got all that going on. You got this legislation going on. So no one over there is talking about this, but I'd like them to be reminded every once in a while, hey, idiots, did you remember that you did this? Because this remains embarrassing despite everything else going on.
I mean, the backcourt of Ziegler and Chris Lofton is going to be great for Tennessee next year. I mean, that's going to be nice.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Ziegler getting it to Lofton, that would be pretty nice.
The coaches poll is out. Ohio State at number 1 in the coaches poll. Tennessee at number 18. So number 18 for Tennessee, just behind Penn State, just in front of Washington in the coaches poll. So the Vols a top 20 team, according to the coaches out there. Joe, are you surprised by that?
A little bit. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty solid show of respect for a team that didn't have a great year last year and is going to be starting either a freshman or a redshirt freshman at quarterback. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised to see Tennessee 23, 24, something like that. That's probably what I would have expected. And honestly, I wouldn't have been shocked if they weren't ranked. So 18 is I think a pretty good show of respect. You look around that area and it's like, yeah, like SMU is a team with Jennings back. Washington's a team with DeMond Williams back. Those are a couple teams that I would have personally had over Tennessee. Yeah. But then you get into, it's like Iowa, Clemson, I mean, Missouri here drawing up the rear there, your guy Eli. So, but yeah, you look around, it's like, well, there are a lot of teams with a lot of questions, and there's a certain amount of offensive production you expect from Tennessee. They've got talent, but I think that's a respect ranking, program respect ranking.
I think so too. I it's particularly when you have no idea who the quarterback's going to be, and you're looking at the options at quarterback, and you're like, okay, well, you've got one person who's never played college football before, and the other one that has never taken a meaningful snap in a college football game. So, but I do think, and I've said this, quarterback aside, I think Tennessee on offense got a chance to be pretty darn good if you can get adequate quarterback play. Like, they've got 2 receivers that I think are really good. They have an offensive line that I think has a chance to be really good. They've got a running game that I think has a chance to be really good. So there's a lot to like about Tennessee on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, I think probably the national focus is, they brought in Jim Knowles, which we're going to find out what that looks like. I still have massive questions about how they're going to get to the quarterback and how they're going to affect the quarterback and all those things. But there is a chance that Tennessee could be a good team this year. I was a little surprised by the 18th. I was more like you. I thought they were going to come in probably 22, 21, somewhere in that area. So you get to 18. I think there's a lot of question marks about a lot of these teams. I mean, look, Michigan's at 16, and Michigan, I have no idea how good is Bryce Underwood. I have no clue.
Yeah, he's got to take a huge jump from last year. Definitely a coaching upgrade with Kyle Whittingham, but it doesn't mean you snap your fingers and are really good. Yeah, it's that quarterback. And it's like, you got to be fair to someone who is a true freshman. But that's the thing with Tennessee. It's like, I think we'll probably see a lot of good things from Faison Brandon, but you have to expect some freshman stuff too, right?
Yes.
And so with Bryce Underwood, the problem is that there was so much hype about him, and it just wasn't very good last year. But he was his first year in college, so I could see there being a big jump there. But you're still projecting that with them. USC at 14.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm a little. I will tell you, like, I kind of thought. I mean, I thought LSU would be a top 10 team. I think is this like some of these coaches just hating Lane?
Maybe a little bit.
That might be a little bit of that. I mean, like, I would like LSU 2 spots behind Alabama. on paper, I don't see that. I don't. I mean, Sam Levitt and they brought in they loaded up in the portal. They got about a $50 million payroll.
I mean, Alabama's still got a very talented roster, but they're kind of the same as a lot of these teams in the SEC this year. Of what's quarterback going to look like? I mean, there's a lot of people excited about Russell, but what's quarterback going to look like? I don't know.
Yeah, he might be. Yeah, there's a lot of buzz, so he might be amazing. But yeah, let's see it.
By the way, Vanderbilt fell into the others receiving votes category in the coaches poll as well, which just like Florida was in there. Beamer somehow convinced other coaches to give him some votes in the top 25, so he was in there. So
Vanderbilt, he's got some players. Well. Yeah, so technically Vanderbilt would be 33rd.
33rd.
Yeah, on the list here. So right ahead of Auburn. And the game here, I'm telling you, man, I'm actually excited. Not just because it's like, yay, we get football, but this game, this opener, Nissan Stadium, with Ole Miss. Obviously, there's all this excitement with the Ole Miss LSU game, but Louisville, the top team receiving votes, got their quarterback transfer from Ohio State, who is a dual threat, like exciting talent, playing for Jeff Brom. Just saying that Louisville could be a very interesting team this year.
Could be. We'll find out pretty quickly into the season. 615-737-1025. Fall camp underway for Vanderbilt and Tennessee. Vols are at 18 in the coaches poll in the preseason. Vanderbilt at 33. And by the way, Joe's got a message for you all mad about the polls in the preseason coming up next. We'll do that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game, taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at 1025 The Game for live shows and exclusive content. Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com will be with us here in about 15 minutes to begin the 7 o'clock hour.
So multiple people are telling us that these championship shirts of teams that don't win it are sent to like poor countries.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Okay. So Dylan Antioch has.
I don't know that I've ever actually seen visual confirmation of it, but I've heard that.
Well, he sent a picture of it's some guys in Africa with Super Bowl champion Bears shirts. So there you go. I mean, that's better. I like that better than just like incinerating and being wasteful. So
I would agree.
All right. Good
Also,
to know. Learning things. We learn things on this show every day.
Definitely not going to see Bears Super Bowl champions walking around here. So at least hopefully not.
Let's hope we never see Bears like they even get close enough for there to be a championship shirt.
That would be great.
I mean, the fact that Rex freaking Grossman got them close is still
I thought they're going to win it.
That's tough. Yeah.
I mean, they didn't Hester bring back the opening kick in that game?
That's
like,
right.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a problem.
Yeah,
Probably wouldn't kick to him.
Yeah. Have you guys noticed?
Kick it anywhere else.
Has anybody noticed? You don't kick to him?
He's pretty good out there. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. So the preseason polls, I feel like this is an annual conversation that we need to have here on this show because there are people that get legitimately angry about the preseason polls, not just, Joe, because of like where, their team gets ranked. But, the coaches poll came out. We're going to get the AP poll here at some point, and we'll see what that all looks like.
Yep.
And people, every time this happens, you're like, well, there's always this conversation at the beginning of the college football season is why is anybody ever ranked? Like, what do you need to rank people for heading into the season? Just play like 4 games and then rank them all after that. And I think that's stupid. But Joe, your thoughts on that conversation that seemingly crops up every year?
The thing that's crazy to me is how many like media people do this. It's like, just dude, yes, we need preseason polls. Are they perfect? No. These coaches think that these preseason polls like dictate everything, and it's just not true, man. Like if you're ranked early and you lose a couple games, you're not going to be ranked anymore. So I like the college football playoff rankings starting when they do. Okay, that's fine. You've had a lot of, but let's play this out. I mean, I've heard people say, well, at least let them play some. Okay, well, have you seen week 1 this year? Because we cannot have a preseason poll, and then let's let everybody play terrible games and which blowout was better.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? Tells you nothing. Unfortunately, the way things are going in college football right now, and look, if you tell me a 2014 playoff actually fixes this, then I'll feel better about it. I have my doubts. But, we're more and more, we're just seeing this good game canceled, this good. Now we got Indiana, Notre Dame canceling their game, which that one was interesting yesterday. You got basically, I think for the most part, we're blaming Indiana, but Indiana tried to spin it that it was Notre Dame because Notre Dame and USC were renewing their series, which is great, by the way. Great to see that. But meanwhile, Indiana will continue to look if you're great and you go 16-0 and kick everybody's butt. I mean, there's not much you can say, but please, can you not play one team with a pulse in your non-league schedule? Like one team with a just remotely competitive.
But don't tell Signetti that. I mean, he's like Western Kentucky won 9 games last year.
Yeah, yeah,
Great.
Exactly. Yeah, and I don't, don't want to rip Western Kentucky. But yeah, I mean, come on. Come on. Yeah. No, but the preseason polls, I mean, lighten up, everyone. Yeah, like it's for fun. If you didn't have them, if we all of a sudden got rid of them, as much as you hear complaining like, oh, we need to get rid of the complaining would be 4 times that for people saying, what? How do you not? I mean, look, every school keeps track in there. Like this coach's record against ranked teams. I mean, it's not perfect to have preseason rankings, but those things matter. It's still a sorting thing. I mean, just lighten up preseason rankings. And then as a voter, and I've been an AP voter, and this is the thing this is one of the biggest problems is that AP voters or coaches, in that poll, like you have your preseason rankings and then you treat it with too much respect after that. Oh, yeah. I'm just going to move this team 2 spots. The first month, you should be wildly different with your ballot every week because you're actually getting information now. I mean, yeah, your preseason is just what you thought. Now there's all these things you were wrong about. So vote that way. The problem is a lot of these voters are like, 2 spots here, 3 spots here. And it's like, no, like redo the whole thing because you actually have information. That's my problem with it.
Well, I would agree. I think as a college football fan, like I enjoy the preseason polls. Like I like seeing where my team falls in line with it. I like seeing who's number 1 and who's number 5.
Who's overrated? Yeah, who's underrated?
Right. Like I think it's fun. I think it's part of the discussion heading into the year. So I had no problem with the preseason polls. And then, eventually you play actual football games. And for the most part, you start to see some of that take care of itself. Now, like on the YouTube chat, Vandy Dandy has pointed out, he's like, the preseason polls helped Notre Dame almost get in the playoffs last year. It's like, I guess because they lost Miami and they were preseason in the top 10, so they didn't fall as far as other people. I don't know. Like it just, I think the season, for the most part, particularly when you're talking about like these SEC teams, like the schedule will take care of it, and you'll get to the point at the end of the year where you'll be debating over who's going to be the 10th, 11th, 12th teams in the playoffs, like you always do.
Yeah, dude. Vandy Dandy, lots of posts today. Taking some shots at Tennessee. I mean, I like that, but okay. So you just undercut your point, right? So Vandy Dandy points out Vanderbilt beat 10, 11, 15, 19, and none of them finished ranked. Exactly. They didn't get credit for those games because they shouldn't have at the end because those teams weren't actually that good. So Vandy can say we beat these ranked teams, but like the committee looks at what those teams are in the end. And okay, so what was that win? Some of those wins did not count for them. If they did, they would have been in the playoff, no problem. So it actually worked, correct?
Yes.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, that's another thing. That may be a future rant. I don't care about ranked wins at the time that you beat them.
No, I mean the schools will say that we got this many. That's fine, but right,
I don't care when the schools say it either. They're wrong. I mean, they are incorrect.
I understand. I'm just saying, like they'll do that for their own,
right,
and that's fine. But the thing is, they also don't get to take credit when they beat a team that wasn't ranked who ended up being really good. But that's what counts to the committee.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, that when you see the whole picture play out, that's what should matter at the end of it.
Right. So, I mean, we can rip the committee. It'll happen again this year. We'll do it all over again every week. But like they do it correctly in that way. They try to judge the value of the body of work of the team you beat. Not, but that team was ranked number 3 at the time. I know they finished 4-8, but they were number 3. No one gives a crap. So preseason polls do not have the power that some people think they have. I'm sorry.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com will be with us coming up next. We'll get his thoughts on all things Titans. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game.
Stand back. There's a hurricane coming through.
Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com with us now here on the program, with us an hour early today as we move the schedule around a little bit with Titans training camp going on. We head to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in, PK, to the program. Paul, good morning. How are you?
I'm well. How was your trip?
It was awesome, man. Appreciate you filling in for me and helping Joe out over here. Getting rave reviews on Joe on Mike 1, by the way.
I don't know about that, but he did produce soda finally.
That's good.
In 2 stages, one small, one proper size.
It's good. Coming through.
Thanks for letting us
a
know.
month and a half later.
As you piddle around town, what are you doing? You going to get some milk? You going to the store? What are we doing here?
I've got a faculty meeting.
Oh, faculty meeting.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
You dress like a professor? You got like a wool tie? What do we got going on here today?
No, I'm in khakis and a collared shirt.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
I appeared in khakis and a collared shirt at Titans availability for the coordinators yesterday, and everybody was looking at me like I was crazy. I was like, don't worry. I'm not watching practice in this. I have to leave.
That'd be a heck of an outfit on the sideline in training camp over there. Well, let's start there.
John Glennon made an appearance yesterday. I don't know if you guys had a chance to talk about that, but tremendous John Glennon sighting yesterday, and he looks really good. So encouraged for our dear friend who's been battling something serious and he's been working. But to get out the Titans, Brian Daboll, very cool. Hadn't met him yet, but immediately said, "Who's John? Know you've been battling some things, and it's a big day for you to be back out here. Nice to meet you, and congratulations." So that was very cool.
Very cool. Very, very cool. So you mentioned Daboll there, PK. So what maybe a couple things that stood out to you about what he had to say about Cam Ward and the offense and everything we've seen to this point so far in camp?
Well, I mean, I think he likes the way things are tracking. I'm working on something about I spent some time with Mitch Trubisky. He talked about, there's certain coordinators you play with where even if you do something quote unquote right that gets your team a gain, a coordinator can rip you in a meeting and not be satisfied with the way you achieve that kind of thing. And Daboll is not that kind of coordinator. I mean, there are certain parameters for sure, but he's not looking for his guys to be robots. And we know, looking around the league, that sometimes it just seems crazy what some of these coordinators want the quarterbacks to do. And Daboll's very much about seeing the game not primarily through his own eyes, but primarily through Cam Ward's eyes. And I would think that's got to be a relief for Cam to know that he's seen. I'm seen. And I just think that's a really healthy thing to hear at this stage. I've got a caveat on everything. We got to see what it looks like in actual practice. And by in practice, I mean in the games, not in practice.
I had this as a topic when you're not here, but I may as well throw it at you because I was struck by Daboll kind of being really careful yesterday about when he was kind of pressed a little bit on the picks, on Cam's picks. And like, I don't know, it just seemed like he did not want to get into sort of publicly, like really describing them or even really like confirming that he thought it was a mistake. I'm just wondering if is that first of all, whatever he's done with quarterbacks, it has worked, right? I generally don't like that. I like let's call it out, call it what it is. But I don't know. Is that a Daboll thing? Is that just kind of how he goes about it, or is that something different from him?
I think it's a little early to tell, but I think a day earlier, Robert Saleh was very direct about them. He thought that Jermaine Johnson was made a great play on one, and he came right out and said the other one was a bad decision by Cam Ward. The most interesting thing about that, Nick Suss and I were near each other, and we automatically connected. The one big. When we asked Cam for his big takeaway after last season, it was kind of a rare moment where Cam almost said, like, "Stuff it, guys. I learned that you can throw against your body with success in the league. And then he, on one day threw against his body twice and suffered for it. So it's still the time to kind of test stuff like that out. But they were not good throws or smart throws, and they came with high risk, and not the kind of stuff you want to see him doing in a game, even leaving the potential for Jermaine Johnson to make a great play, but certainly the one to Hooker. And Hooker kind of set him up for that with on the couple plays before that. So yes, he can do that, but when he does it, he's got to be, 90% sure, 95% sure.
Any problem with Jeffrey Simmons getting kicked out of practice yesterday for throwing the punch? My main thing is, like, first off, this feels like PK. It's a annual tradition of Jeff Simmons getting into a scuffle, and I don't particularly care about that. My main thing is, like, stop throwing punches so you don't break your hand on somebody's helmet and have to miss 3 weeks because you got in a training camp fight. That would be my only level of concern.
No, I love that he got kicked out. I mean, we saw 2 training camps in a row where Jeff, lost his head.
Yep.
I guess that's going to happen. But Brian Callahan was very ho-hum about it, and there were no consequences for it. And I think, especially if it's your best player, but for anybody, if you do that, there's got to be a consequence, and guys need to see we can't do that. And Callahan was like, why would I throw a guy out of practice? I don't understand why you guys are concerned about that. And Saleh, plain spokenly said, you throw a punch in a game, you're out of the game. You throw a punch in practice, you're out of practice. Whoa, logic applied to disciplinary issue. So to me, that's the biggest development there. And it's not that big a development. It's just that Callahan took us so far off course with that it's a return to common sense.
So the new coaching staff, tough, disciplined, smart. Old coaching staff, dumb, weak losers, right? Is that the takeaway?
Just on this one point, I think the new coaching staff is doing something else that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I wasn't there yesterday, but the first day of pads, they weren't blowing a whistle to end the play, or they were blowing it very late, and they were letting guys be taken to the ground in a way that you never see in training camp. I mean, Joe, what's the first thing you hear as soon as a guy goes to the ground? Keep him on his feet, protect him. Don't, defenders are scolded for that. And that was not the case the first day in pads. And I think that he said, we want to toe the line and all of that. Well, it's great to toe the line until a guy gets hurt in practice unnecessarily because you're being overly physical, especially near the whistle. And I think you can train guys to play, to the echo of the whistle, but there's got to be an actual whistle.
Sal's going old school.
I kind of like it.
It's like back when you used to cover 3-a-days, PK, out there, just like all pads all the time, just bull in the ring, right? All that stuff.
I'm not so old to have covered 3-a-days. I covered 2-a-day.
PK, I will say I was intrigued a couple of days ago about Saleh's philosophy on kind of the one-on-ones. And he was basically just saying, you don't really get one-on-ones. It's not actual football. And the way that they're structuring the 7-on-7s and doing, actual route concepts out there, he believes has more value. I guess I didn't know that the one-on-one period in training camp was like apparently the second most injured period of camp around the league. So I found that answer and that process from him pretty interesting. I kind of like it.
Lends a lot fewer highlights to everybody's reels and YouTube shorts and TikTok. I'm most interested really. The receivers and the DBs is always the easiest to see wins and losses, and it's obviously advantage offense. But seeing the big guys can be maybe the most telling in terms of a young guy's ability to stand his ground for a little bit on the offensive line, which is a big question right now. And so not getting a chance to see that means, dumb reporters who need things to be everybody else out of the space and let me really lock in on the one-on-one, have less stuff to easily interpret. But what he said makes sense for sure. And I wonder if that's trending in the league. And I wonder, I would have liked to follow up to see if that's the plan against San Francisco, against Chicago, against Seattle.
Yeah, I think it totally makes sense in terms of like he said, what do you call it? Hokey dokey? Hokey pokey routes, all the stuff that you just never see in a game. And it's like, you can see how a hammy could be pulled or something. I think, I don't know, the one-on-one bigs one-on-one, to me, it's like, how is that any different than if they're in, to me, like if you're in a team period, that's where you can accidentally step on someone's ankle that you're not going again. You know what I mean? So
yeah, get rolled.
Yeah. So, you get rolled up on from behind or whatever. I feel like the one-on-ones actually are kind of useful with the bigs. But Ed, by the way, says that they were looking at you crazy because of your incredibly poorly worded question to Daboll. So that may be the problem, PK.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've considered that, but I wouldn't, maybe
really,
don't replay that for your students, like try to.
Really wasn't that bad. And I don't know who was looking at me crazy.
We'll have more with Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com with us on the program, talking all things Titans. PK, Dan Moore leaving practice yesterday. I have no idea what the severity of the injury is going to look like, but we've talked about this with you before. I mean, look, I don't know how good the Titans offensive line is when everybody's completely healthy. I don't necessarily love the Titans tackle situation when everybody's completely healthy. I tell you what I really don't love is if one of the two starting tackles goes down with injury. So if Dan Moore is out for any length of time throughout the season, that's going to be a big problem, recognizing that Dan Moore is, probably an average left tackle at best. And here we are, Paul, a few days into camp, and we're already seeing some potential injury issues with the Titans offensive line.
I don't think it's serious. I did some fishing. I think we'll find out tomorrow. Now, not serious could still mean some timeout, which obviously isn't ideal. But I mean, I don't think we're talking about some kind of season ending or 6-week injury here. So, I understand that the concern and all of that, but I think people really have it dialed up right now that like guy can suffer a toenail injury right now and everybody presumes he's out for the year.
Right.
Like JC Latham and Amani Hooker started on PUP and like the panic is set to a 10 right now. And I don't understand it because the Titans, if one thing has improved, the overall health issue has improved. So, I'm not saying a guy can't tear an ACL at any time, but it wasn't some dramatic injury in the middle of a play where a guy got carted off yesterday. So maybe it's the absolute nature of a Titans fan to presume the absolute worst from the beginning. But chill out. I mean, he's hurt, concerned. Let's wait and see. But all early indications are it's not a giant deal. So if you want to have heart palpitations over it for a couple of days, be my guest. But Salah said yesterday, didn't think it was major, I don't think. And my reporting indicates it's not either.
Okay, well, I'll speak out against your fan scolding. Maybe they can read a depth chart that says Austin Deculus is his backup, and then you got Brandon Crenshaw Dixon on the other side. I mean, like
we know the depth is horrible.
Yeah, I mean, just the idea of like them even getting any ones reps might freak people out, I mean, it really is a tenuous situation here. Like, fine, you're right. Guy walks into the locker room with the trainer, everybody calm down. But I think it just brings to mind probably for some people like how they did not do enough with this offensive line. They just didn't, and it's probably going to end up biting them.
Oh, it definitely will end up biting them at some point. The odds that their top 5 play, 17 games collectively are rare. You hope the injuries, I think they're probably better at guard than they are at tackle depth-wise. I think they definitely are. But, I mean, I'm offering a lot of wait and see at this time, and people don't want to hear wait and see. But I don't understand running around like a chicken with your head cut off because Dan Moore went into the locker room before find out that it's something. Now, if you find out that it's something, go crazy.
Are you subtweeting Tic Tac Titans right now? Is that who's flipping out?
No,
I don't follow his stuff.
Yeah, nor do I.
You clearly do. You clearly follow.
I think Joe follows him. Joe brings him up all the time.
I love saying his name. Tic Tac Titans. Tic Tac Titans. Tic Tac Titans.
Once in a while, some idiot in the press room will show me something he says, to which I say, "Why are you following this human being?" That is the extent of my interaction.
Oh, so you're like the coach who's like, "Oh yeah." So you're like the coach who's like, "Well, I didn't read it, but someone showed it to me. I didn't actually. I don't have the internet." Oh yeah.
No, I don't steer myself into things that annoy me.
You probably have like a hate closet for him at home.
That's ridiculous.
His face all over the wall.
I was shown that he had a classic the other day, and I will comment to people that do follow him, like, he put out a thing and
Here we
said,
go.
hey, no, but this was Terry McCormick follows him for some reason.
Yeah.
It shows up in the press room. Don't panic about the interception. The guy's on fire today. How would he know? The practice is not broadcast, and he doesn't live in the state. How are people taking that as credible information?
This is a good point.
But you never think about him.
It is a good point.
You're right. I agree with you, by the way.
I do too. I was looking, PK, at kind of just the situation that they've got heading into this. And look, we've talked about this. I largely hate training camp practices. I think people make way too much of them. And then we get to the actual season, and the information gleaned from them very often is not all that relevant. However, Io Manor off to a very good start in training camp for the Tennessee Titans at wide receiver. We'll see what that means for him by the time the games come around. Like I'm looking at it, if people stay healthy, PK, and he can be as good as he wants to be in training camp. But my thought process is, I don't know how often he's going to get on the field based on the way that the Titans receiving room is currently structured. What do you make of kind of Io Manor and what that role could look like for him as the season comes around?
Yeah, maybe they create some kind of packages where he's out there. If he continues to perform this way and they feel like they've got to get him out there, maybe next week Chim is better. I don't know, but I've got a piece coming soon. I keep mentioning this piece. I ought to get it published. Preseason receiver depth is virtually always an illusion for the Titans, and so until somebody that's not a top 3 receiver here makes a crucial catch for them somewhere, I don't buy deep. I buy optimism. I buy it's exciting, but we do that every year with whoever it is.
You have some weird stuff with the receivers. Like you got the DNA thing. I mean, I don't agree with you.
Joe, have you ever seen a good 4th receiver on the Tennessee Titans? I'll answer for you. No.
Yes, I will answer correctly. Yes.
Well, you had NWI, but you said he was number 2 receiver, so it got complicated.
Yeah, there you go. I wasn't even thinking about NWI. I mean, Marcus Johnson actually had to fill in a lot in 21, and again, he got hurt too.
You know how many catches he made?
He made some big ones. He had the huge one against the Saints. Well, I mean, if you have a game-winning catch, that means something. And Chester Rogers could play too. But regardless, I think this room is different. I do. I mean, these two okay. Well, these 2 second-year guys played. They weren't stars last year, but they play. I think they can play. I think they showed last year they can play. They're not starters. How could you not then conclude that they actually do have some depth now? Because of the DNA?
No, because
1983?
Do it in meaningful games. Io Manor, he was overtasked last year, yes, but that doesn't give him the right to drop balls and to fade as the season goes on and to disappear.
He has no right to drop balls.
No, none of them have the right to drop balls.
You've taken away their rights to drop balls. What is it? Is this like illegal, like Arian Carter and Pete Rose?
They're allowed to drop a certain amount of balls. That's okay. Well, in a real NFL team, when a guy drops balls, he gets benched. Like when a 4th receiver gets his chance and he drops balls, what they do is they go to the next guy.
You have no right, sir, to drop that football.
That is true.
Professor PK.
You've fallen victim.
Professor Paul.
You are also conditioned by the Titans to accept mediocrity.
No, they have depth. They actually have good depth. Now, Ridley may get hurt and then it gets strained, but they're 4 and 5. And I would agree with you, like on someone like Bryce Oliver, who's making all these plays in camp, and it's like, okay, everybody calm down, and whoever else, some of those other guys. But no, I think they actually have 5 legitimate receivers. That is different than it has been. I mean, there's other areas like we were just talking about, like Austin Deculus is your freaking left tackle backup. Holy crap. Someone on the text line was like, holy fart. He was ranked 89 out of 89 tackles last year. So there's some areas where the depth is atrocious, but I think receiver, it's actually good. You're writing a piece about how it's not.
Proclaim nothing out of camp pertaining to receiver, period.
I mean, I will say, when we start talking about training camp receivers, the first name that comes to mind to me is like, oh, it's Kyle Phillips out there. He's just lighting everybody up. Kyle Phillips.
Torch those dudes.
And he couldn't.
You bought that, Joe. I bought that. How many times are we going to buy that?
Yeah, but his story was
Oh, you're going to buy it every year. Oh, yeah,
No.
this one's real.
This-
No, this one's real.
because
No, this one's real.
right, but again, because 4 and 5 played in NFL games last year. That's the difference. You don't see that
Kyle
difference?
Phillips played in NFL games.
Well, yeah, Kyle Phillips was talented. He was made of peanut brittle. You know, it's not. I mean, that was what happened, and also couldn't catch a punt. But Vrabel was like, "Hey, let's field that punt with 5 seconds left in the half." Sure, good coaching, Vrabel.
I went to London to watch that.
Yeah, that's a good trip.
God, that was a London game.
Good trip.
Oh,
That time.
cheerio.
More coming up with PK next. We'll take your questions. 615-737-1025. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Hey, Robbie Stanley here. Fantasy football right around the corner, and you need to check it out at Twin Peaks. The Twin Peaks Fantasy Football Draft Party Package gives league commissioners and its members an elevated, easy experience along with scenic views, made from scratch food, and the coldest beer in the game. Each in-lodge package includes a draft board, player stickers, a $50 bonus commissioner bounce back card, $5 bonus card per league member, and premium table reservation observations and free Wi-Fi as well. Call to book your draft party today at the Twin Peaks in Madison. Visit twinpeaksrestaurant.com/fantasy draft for more information. Robby and Rexrode, presented by Green Ventures Landscaping for homes and businesses that want to stand out, not blend in. Visit greenventureslandscaping.com PaulKuharsky.com. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Paul Kuharsky from PaulKuharsky.com is with us here on the program.
You know he danced to this song at the prom, too. You totally rocked some Rock Me Amadeus, right, back in the day, PK? Little Falco?
I didn't mind the song. It certainly wasn't a prom song. We had, like, romantic prom songs.
There was no fast dancing at your prom? It was nothing but lovey dancing?
No, I didn't say it wasn't that played at the prom.
Ashford and Simpson, solid as a rock?
The theme song of the prom was certainly not rock. Prom 1987 Rock Me Amadeus was not our thing. Was that your thing?
Well, I mean, we had certain like upbeat songs when people would get out there and dance.
Of course we had. You're missing my thing. You're making it sound like your theme was Rock Me Amadeus.
No, I'm just saying at the prom, I could see you rocking out to Rock Me Amadeus.
Joe's theme was South Detroit.
I was like most people. Like you had a slow dance or two with your girl and you moved on.
Okay.
And then you got out of there and you went to the beach and you did some drinking.
Spike the punch.
We stole a couple pies. Petey Kelman and I, we took the bicycles from the beach house and we went to the grocery store and we wanted to buy things, but the grocery store wasn't open yet. And there were some delicious looking pies stacked up outside to be delivered. And there was nowhere to put money. And we were hungry.
So you're jailing people for dropping a football, but meanwhile you are breaking and entering.
Is the statute of limitations up?
And committing burglary. Interesting.
Yeah, I think the statute of limitations is up.
That's good. It's good to know. Anthony Hill making some plays out there at camp. How do you see this linebacking group coming together early in the year with Cedric Gray, what he did last year? Obviously, they've got Cody Barton in the fold, and they've spent a significant pick on Anthony Hill as well. How do you kind of see that all working itself out?
Yeah, I mean, I think there are a lot of people right now getting snaps and in the mix as the third guy. Diabate has been up there, and James Williams, Monday, and it seems like it carried into yesterday, just looked phenomenal. I don't know if they planned. Like, it seems a little weird to say, hey, James, we're going to give you Monday, the first day in pads, to go out there. Seemed more like he played really well with his early snaps, and they said, all right, we're going to stay. But, I mean, he's down 20 pounds, which seems like a lot, to 230, which is a weight they like a lot there. And he's really well suited to be a Robert Saleh guy. So I would start to keep an eye on him now. And it's not to say that Hill can't burst on the scenes and everything. We have a small sample size, but Cedric Gray certainly needed a year. Now, he was hurt at the beginning. But I wouldn't be surprised if he took that course, particularly if somebody like James Williams is playing great ahead of him, and I still think it's going to be hard to get Barton out of there, largely because of the leadership and the communication thing. So I think the communication leadership thing gives Barton a real edge, and somebody's going to have to really outplay him to get him off the field for them to sacrifice something in the communication element.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like Williams would be one of the early standouts, eye openers, along with, I would say, Io Manor, although you apparently
Io Manor's been good.
An actual football player, but
I think Io Manor's been good. But look, here's the comparison: James Williams has only really had two good days, but one of them was very good. But Io Manor being good so far to you apparently makes him like great for camp, and I think it's just as likely. And Oliver could be good a couple days after that. And we haven't even gotten into your boy Restrepo. So there's plenty of receivers to talk about.
Liam McLeod asks on the text line driven by WilsonCountyHunter.com, why does PK have to be a downer about everything? He's good at his job and all, but he's like an angry Eeyore. Your thoughts?
Eeyore's not angry. Eeyore's kind of
right. He's saying like there's Eeyore, but you're like the angry version. If somehow Eeyore was also angry, that would be you.
Do you want some realism in your life or not? There's a 3-win team coming into a new season, headed by a coach that didn't win with the Jets. if you want rainbows, and I mean, I give this speech constantly. If you want rainbows and chocolate sprinkles, everybody out there is giving them to you. Do you want something different or not? Do you want some realism or not?
Take that Titans.
See, I'm convinced
He
Joe's
ain't
the
giving it
one
to
that
you.
follows.
He said that Cam's throwing seeds. I don't know how he's seeing it. Maybe he's got a drone.
That'd be amazing.
It would be. Hey, pretty good deep shot yesterday, though, PK, from Ward to Tate, that the Titans apparently waited about 4 minutes to tweet out. They're like, we got to get this one out there. Ward to Tate, deep. Good to see.
Yeah. Well, things are going to open up. You know, that first acclimatization, which is a word that while you were away, Joe made clear he doesn't like, mostly because he can't pronounce it.
Is that going to be in the syllabus?
They weren't running a lot of deep stuff early, and I think it's part of that, easing guys in so they don't pull hamstrings. But they're opening some things up, and that's a good throw to see because they were having some trouble with some boundary stuff, which I don't think was all quarterbacks. I think there was just some confusion. But that's a good play to see after some struggles on Monday.
How much does it take a Belmont student to achieve acclimatization to you, I wonder? It's got to take some weeks.
I'm a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I mean, they get high energy fun right out of the gate.
I thought you were
sleepy,
stopping there.
no
They get
sleepy.
high, and then we have some cookies.
Yeah, I don't know what's with you in the getting high thing. I think you do a lot of projecting. I don't get high. So I think what you're doing is taking what you do and putting it on me.
This is your brain on drugs.
Now you could defend getting high all you want, but it's still not about me.
Hey, there you go.
Good for you, PK.
It is good. It is good. How's Trubisky looked out there?
He's looked fine. You know, I think he's what you want in a backup in terms of being reliable and all that. I had my first conversation with him, and I liked him a lot from that standpoint. So from a reporter standpoint, you want a backup quarterback that you could talk to about the plight, if you will, of the starter. And I spent 15 minutes with him talking a lot about that and coming away very informed. So I'm excited to have him. You know, I don't think he's going to win you a lot of games if he's called into action. But you know, there are not many teams that have backups that are going to do that. It's a very limited league in terms of quarterback depth.
I feel like we haven't talked much so far about specifics with the secondary. You know, Hooker, you know, baits Cam and gets a pick that might be a touchdown going the other way. Winston's making plays, but anything standing out to you, especially good or bad, with that group so far?
Well, they're churning the hell out of these last three cornerback spots. One of them was a safety. I can't even remember his name now. They had him in for a day. So he didn't make a good impression, or they immediately found somebody they liked better. And to churn that position from guys that, you know, where they're 90-man rosters around the league, you're not looking at much. So I would suspect, you know, maybe one of these guys presents himself, really impresses Fossil as a special teamer and can be a hanger-on. But I would think they're going to continue to churn those spots after cut downs when, you know, so many more better people become available. So I don't think they're done with DB depth. It's been more corners than safeties. So I think somebody like Kendall Brooks, you know, Tony Adams, Kendall Brooks are clearly, I mean, there's no doubt about Adams. I think Kendall Brooks is probably a guy that's safe. And then you look at Micah Robinson and Keedron Colligan. Robinson, I think, probably has a spot on this team. Maybe Callaghan. So that stuff's formulating, but they need help there. And those guys need to perform in preseason games. You know, if they're getting run by, I don't think this team's going to hesitate to. Next.
Well, PK, you wrote at paulkuharsky.com the other day about, you know, Flott and Taylor and the size that they got. I think Flott is 6'2", Taylor is 6'1", and how that's kind of a shift from what we've seen in the very recent past here with the Titans. What do you make of that? How intentional is that? And have you seen that kind of play out, so far the way the Titans are looking for?
It's just interesting how much it's moved. I remember Brinker saying, we want 6-foot corners. And then Borgonzi came in and said, 5'11", even under 5'11" is okay. We weren't going to not take McDuffie in Kansas City because he was 5'10" and a half or whatever he was. And obviously they got a stellar player there. But now Saleh likes him tall, long in particular, but length generally comes with height. And so, they weren't drafting guys, but they paid good money to these two guys who are long. And he thinks when you're set up to cover a guy, who's lined up in more traditional positions, that these guys can really eat. Now, he does admit that you can take some of that away when you play receivers tighter to the formation and create traffic and stuff. And then it does then take away some foot speed. And I don't think he's giving away the house there because teams play like that, right? So I think you'll see some games where their advantages are more apparent than others. I watched Flott against Ridley in the red zone the other day, and he just ate him up. And he wasn't even manhandling at the line of scrimmage. He got hands on him early, but he wasn't like aggressively driving him back. But then he was just in his pocket. This was 6 or 8 meaningful snaps where Ridley was just not an option for Cam Ward. So I was encouraged from the defensive side by that. I think Flott is clearly the better cover guy out of the two of them. But, it's a very intentional thing that they have this big front, rush 4, and let those two guys, when they choose to play man, take care of things. And then everybody else can deal with everything else.
I got to read this from Jacob from the YouTube chat. It says, PK is talking about realism while his high school self was committing crimes like a cartoon cat stealing pies off windowsills. That's brilliant.
I wish we had seen windowsills. Probably would have been closer to the house. I don't think anybody was baking pies at 5 o'clock in the morning in the Jersey Shore.
What kind of pie?
It's a nice story.
Do you remember this? Is it like mincemeat or something from the olden days? What kind of pie?
It wasn't. They were dessert pies. I don't remember.
You don't remember? You just said you remember that they were good, but you don't remember what kind they were?
Yeah, I think they were warm. That's one thing.
Okay.
I think
now we got
an
American Pie scene. Okay.
No, I mean we were with our girlfriend. We were with our girlfriend.
Okay.
We were fine. We were hungry.
Well, on that note, have yourself a wonderful time over at Belmont today, PK. We'll talk to you next week.
It's been a pleasure. And don't believe all Joe's hype. Joe, another guy, by the way, like his boy that he likes to worship, who hasn't seen a snap of Cam. So don't let him tell you too much about what's going on.
Mason Kinsey, how's he doing?
Yeah, how's he doing?
Oh yeah, you'll blow him up in no time after he makes 2 catches in a practice.
Thank you, PK.
The Titans are great at wide receiver. I don't know what he's talking about. Invincible.
Invincible. Okay, Professor PK, that's enough of you.
All righty. We'll see you later.
Guys. Always a pleasure.
Yes, sir. You too. Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com, our guest here on the program, doing a little early duty today as he prepares to teach the youth of America.
PK the pie thief. Man, we got a new entire storyline with him now.
There's this scene in Oh Brother Where Art Thou where they're just running up to the window, stealing the pie, running off. It's the only thing I can see right now. Kuharsky just running up, taking the pie, and that's it. We'll have the Rex Rant coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game.
Sometimes he wakes up on the wrong side of the bed. And sometimes he's just, well, Joe.
Awkward moment. Let's do it.
This is the Rex Rant, now on Robby and Rexrode.
Your kid is not as good as you think he is. There's no screaming. I know you think a rant has to be screaming. You want to make me mad, I'll scream at you.
Tell me about how badly the Knicks are going to lose so that I can feel great about them.
Oh, they better not take Levis.
Get out of here, Mayo boy.
The size is disappointing.
Win one for the Pekka.
The agreement was bigness.
Size matters.
You think Matt likes the role play?
Go New York, go New
I
York,
can
go.
respect. This sounded like it was a whole foot thing going on.
I'm checking the feet out.
But sometimes I definitely notice my nipples.
It is time for the Rex Rant, served by the Wine Cellar in Hendersonville. Great place. The Wine Cellar. Check it out in Hendersonville. Joe, the floor is yours.
So anyway, back to stolen pies. Like, does PK realize what he's done here? I hope. Well, he probably doesn't. But I'm going to talk about these pies a lot. Okay? Just want you to know.
You think Tic Tac Titans ever stolen any pies?
Probably. Actually. That's probably where they have a
bond.
They're actually reformed pie thieves, both of them.
That's good. Good to know.
So I spent all day yesterday. I have to talk about this story because it's wild. And I wrote something. I think it's being edited, but I spent all day on the phone yesterday, basically. I mean, it's not like not actually all day on the phone, but a lot of phone calls and texts and things like that. Have you heard about this Boston College thing?
Oh,
yeah. Awful announcing got the story. Kevin Collins, Boston College announcer, and Josh Maurer, the two Boston College announcers, got fired last week. Like, right, kind of out of nowhere, after months in which they could have been let go and given an opportunity to find another job. Josh Maurer, his main job is Brewers play-by-play, but this is like it's his second job, is Boston College men's basketball, and Kevin Collins, it's his job. It has been his job for 13 straight years. So you're talking about 13 straight years for him, 9 years of them together, calling Boston College. And let me tell you something. That right there deserves some kind of a medal on its own, because Boston College it's
been rough.
It's been a tough go. So the awful announcing story, basically, that Luke Murray, for those who don't know, Luke Murray, first-year Boston College coach. He's also the son of Bill Murray. So if you follow the NCAA tournament, wherever he's been on staff, Bill Murray is always at the games, and he was at UConn. He helped Danny Hurley win 2 national championships at UConn. Previously, he was at Xavier with Chris Mack. Bill Murray's always in the middle of the thing. Everybody loves Bill Murray. And Luke Murray, I like to hire for Boston College, but man, I'm a little bit worried. If it's true. And I cannot sit here and tell you, even after all day yesterday, if it's true. But if it's true, what Kevin Collins was told, which is that he wants no involvement with the previous staff. Earl Clark got fired at 5 years, 72-92 record. So it's like, you want to change the culture. New pay, new uniforms. Oh, and get rid of the freaking radio announcers.
Guys.
What? Like, if that's true, I'm concerned. I'm concerned for Boston College. I'm concerned about Luke Murray. And it's just such a terrible way to treat people. The thing about this story that is indisputable, whether that's really it, there's a whole thing with this story, which I won't get into. It's way too in the weeds, and who cares? But basically, it's like either Luke Murray did this, or possibly an administrator actually wanted them gone and blamed it on Luke Murray. I don't know. But I do know this. Kevin Collins, for example, showed up at his press conference, which is what happened, and clapped, and like people clap at press conferences when you're fans and you're ready to be, and he couldn't even get he hasn't even shook the guy's hand. Luke Murray, for months, they tried to do a catered lunch, they tried to do all these things just to meet him, just to get FaceTime with him. Not a word. Would not meet with them. That's freaking weird. If you're
just the radio guys, man.
Right. And again, if you want to move on, sometimes coaches have their own person. That's not the case. They're doing a search now. But if that's the case, fine. Sometimes a coach brings in their own PR person.
Sure.
And it's like, hey, this is my person. And so, but that's not this. But if you're going to disrespect people like that, which is unquestionably what Luke Murray did, like at least let them go a few months ago so they can try to find a job. Because now they're not going to get college basketball jobs for this coming year. It's August. It's just a complete. It's a ridiculous story of how to not treat people, and also just in general for coaches and front office people and administrators. You got to understand, and I don't know how Boston College fans feel about these guys, but 9 years in a row together, 13 years in a row for Kevin Collins. I'll tell you that I'm a Detroit Tigers fan, and there's very few players in the history of the franchise that I would hold in higher regard than Ernie Harwell, who did radio for the Tigers. I was in Oklahoma City in March and watched an entire arena filled with Nebraska fans, hoping they'd win their first NCAA game. And when they did, I'm telling you, the attention was on Kent Pavelka. All the players were coming over and hugging him. All the fans are trying to take pictures of him. That's their radio announcer for 50 years. Like, these people matter. Separately, they should never be considered part of the past. This guy's been there for 4 coaching staffs.
It has nothing to do with the staff.
All of a sudden, he's he's something you need to get rid of. Like, he's part of the losing culture. No, dude, he's it's a big time win to be able to broadcast that awful product for year after year and try to give people something to hold on to. It's very disappointing and ridiculous. And again, whether this was Luke Murray's call or not, and believe me, there's people at BC who are like, no, it wasn't Luke. Okay. Whether it was or not, have the decency to say hi to somebody. Start there.
What a weird story. It's just very strange, like needlessly strange, the way that's all played out.
I mean, the one thing I'll say is, when do we ever talk about Boston College?
Well, that's
anything. True. So they're making news. They're making news out there. Another quick thing on this. So Kevin and Fran Fraschilla, someone I like a lot, and he took note of this. And Boston College fans, of course, they want Luke Murray to be great, and so now he's kind of getting attacked, on social media, right? So he had a tweet in March. Some people are saying, well, this is the reason. So he had a tweet in March, and it was 9 days before the hire was made, okay? And basically wondering, is this he is a first-time head coach, so do we want a first-time head coach? Basically going back and forth, talking about the pros and cons. Again, before he was hired. So now people are mad at him for not being a homer for every candidate. This guy's awesome. Oh, this guy's awesome. Nothing bad here. Yay, they're all great. No, there's nothing. But people are pointing this out now. This would be the justification for Luke Murray to want him out. And again, if Luke Murray saw him saying, well, he's never been a head coach before he got hired, and that's a problem, Luke Murray is a problem.
Do you have any thoughts on the moon landing?
I don't know. Somebody.
We talked about it a lot yesterday. Somebody's wanting a moon landing rant. So,
no. I'm sure I'll come back to that at some point. I'm imagining PK eating a blueberry pie on the moon right now.
You think he believes we've been to the moon? Have you asked him?
I think he does. I think he has gone off on the people who are dumb enough to think we haven't.
It's good to know.
Yes.
We'll get into some comments from Brian Daboll yesterday on the Cam Ward front. That's coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Final hour, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robbie Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Wednesday morning. Presented by Green Ventures Landscaping. Property managers, if you manage it, they maintain it. Visit greenventureslandscaping.com. We are live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios. Home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com already with us today on the program. So normally on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock, he was with us an hour earlier today. So if you missed that, check it out, Robby and Rex Show. That will be up shortly wherever you get your podcast. One thing we did bring up with PK, Joe, is the Brian Daboll discussion. He, along with the coordinators, had their press conferences yesterday, talked about a lot of different things. But obviously, Cam Ward came up a lot in the press conference, and the interceptions that he threw in the first day of pads, and kind of Daboll's history with quarterbacks that he's worked with, most notably Josh Allen, that we've cited as an example a lot of the improvement that Allen put on display after he partnered up with Brian Daboll. So was asked yesterday by TD kind of about all that and the interceptions that were thrown and, thrown across the body and learning how to take care of the football. And Daboll mentioned a few times yesterday about the non-negotiables of taking care of the football at the quarterback position. Here's some of what Brian Daboll had to say yesterday at Titans Media Availability.
I know in the past you were able to help Josh Allen be able to extend plays but also minimize the turnovers. How did you do that, and how can you spin that over to Cam? Just how I look at it yesterday, throwing across his body. We know that's something he likes to do, but how do you balance that?
Again, the job of the quarterback is to make the right decision. So, Cam is a very talented passer of the football. He can put it wherever he needs to put it. Those guys that have a lot of talent, that have a strong arm, they have a lot of confidence. So at the end of the day, something like that, you got to make the right decision. And that's what these things are for. You can hit some big ones, use your legs if you need to use your legs. Again, third down is a hard down. Once you get to 3rd and 4+, just say it's significantly an advantage of a defense. And that's any defense. So try to stay out of those situations. But when you're in them, everything's not going to be perfect. There's a lot of bullets flying, different pressures, disguises, looks. And it's not always going to be perfect on 3rd down. Try to end every drive with a kick should be the mentality of our quarterback.
What was your feedback to him after those 2 interceptions yesterday?
Look, he scrambled out on a couple of them. He thought he had something, and he tried to put it in, and you can see it for a split second being open, and those close up. It's everything is a risk reward for the quarterback. Situation we're in, decision you make on a throw, throwing back across your body when you're rolling one way, it might work a couple times, but lesson learned. On those 2 plays, which is good. This is why we're doing it. But I don't ever, and I said that with the other quarterbacks I have, I want them to have an aggressive mentality. I want them to go after it. But at the end of the day, we're charged with making the right decision, all of us.
So that was Brian Daboll on Ward and the feedback that he gave him after the picks. What did you make of that, Joe?
Well, I always think his pressers are interesting. I did think that he was going as far as he could to not say it was bad. This was bad. And then finally gets the lesson learned, which I just thought was interesting. I'm like, I think everything with Daboll is interesting in terms of, first of all, if it works out here, great for the Titans, great for Nashville, great for Cam Ward. And also then I think Brian Daboll will be unquestionably, he'll be as valued in this league as if you do it. And I know that Daniel Jones leveled off and all that stuff. So that maybe it's not the same thing. It's certainly not nearly the same thing as Josh Allen. It's not like everything he touches turns to gold, but pretty good track record. And so if you get Cam Ward playing at a high level, man, you are going to be a very valued and even more so than now, coach in this league. And so I'm very interested in just all of the different ways that he goes about it, and that struck me as someone who, and some coaches are like this. Some coaches are like, I will not criticize anyone. I'm going to go to the ends of the earth, especially a quarterback, to not saying some coaches are just very blunt, and which I prefer. I feel like that's the way to go. But I also feel like Brian Daboll knows what the heck he's doing. So it's just interesting to me, and I just wonder if like that's how he's always been. But,
well, the public part of it for sure. Like I think some of the conversation about him when he got hired here was the partnership, obviously, with Ward, but also, I mean, a lot of things you heard about people that have played for him is he's not afraid to get in there and basically hold people accountable and confront on these issues.
We've seen that.
We've seen that.
Him screaming at people on the sidelines. Now, I don't know.
Get the guy in the blue tent out of the way. Get the quarterback out of there. You know,
that's right.
He's not afraid to go get him.
But also, like his D coordinator or whatever. Now, has he had a moment like Josh McDaniels and Tom Brady screaming at each other on the sideline? Did he ever have moments like that with Josh Allen? I don't know.
Recall seeing that. But
Bills fans, we have Bills fans who listen.
Yeah, I mean, I do think there's a obvious difference between that and then publicly in a press conference how a coach operates. I don't know. Like I don't know what, obviously he hasn't been here long enough to really know what that style is going to look like. I mean, we've seen all different types from head coaches here that some people criticize pretty openly. Some people don't. Some people will go out of their way basically to say nothing at a press conference. Like we talked about Heupel earlier in the show. For the most part, he goes out of his way to say nothing in a press conference. So there are different ways to do it. I'm interested to see kind of what that looks like with Daboll as the year goes on here. But like I think you could see it. I'm with you. If you're watching the press conference too, like you could see him, like the wheels turning in his mind. Like, okay, how much do I actually want to say here, and how much is like, all right, let's leave the conversation that I had with Cam Ward about the interceptions on the field between me and Cam Ward.
Yeah, and that was perfect framing on the question from TD to just, okay, what was your feedback?
Yeah.
So now tell us what you actually think about it, which he finally did. But it's just ultimately, this just from this perspective, this should be really good for Cam Ward, right? Like from this perspective, to have this guy in here should be. Everything may not be perfect, as we've talked about earlier. Austin Deculus may be blocking for him at some point, okay? And so there are things here that are not perfect around him, but this part of it should be good. And it's one of those things where obviously at some point someone's performance on Sundays is going to dictate everything, but he's getting, to me, a proven and one of the best people in the league at doing this, helping him on a daily basis. And obviously you hope that makes a big difference.
You hope that makes a big difference. I think, look, that's one of the things about this year's team that I feel maybe the best about. Really, I mean, frankly, at head coach, I don't know yet. We've talked about this. I was not overly excited when it came to the Robert Saleh hire at head coach. I am willing to give him the benefit of the doubt that the Jets are the Jets, and it's just a borderline impossible for anybody to overcome that. So we'll see what that looks like in stop number 2 for Saleh. But I think when he made the hire at OC of Brian Daboll coming in, like I think that's where a lot of Titans fans are basing their optimism on the coaching staff from, is not just Saleh, but the partnership of Saleh and Daboll together. Like the offense, provided that they can block, there's a lot to like about what they've done this offseason from the standpoint of adding the coaches that they've added. Obviously, they spent the number 4 pick in the draft on a wide receiver. You brought in Wan'Dale Robinson, spending good money. Like they've changed a lot about their offense heading into year 2. So that's good. Like I like to see that. But that's where I think a lot of the optimism comes from, which is amazing too, because from the same standpoint, like it wasn't like Brian Daboll was all that successful as a head coach in New York either. But I think the track record of him working with quarterbacks goes back far enough. And it's different from Callahan, where it's like he is directly either working with these quarterbacks and calling plays. Like there's a track record there that I just think is different. And I think it brings a lot of excitement for Titans fans.
Yeah. It's also, I guess you could look at it and compare it to Bill Callahan. Like this is the star proven guy who is like kind of like the centerpiece of the staff, and obviously we saw how that worked out. And again, I know like Adam in Portland, like every chance he gets, like the Callahans were idiots. I'm like, I think you need to separate father and son, right? Like father, decades of evidence that he knows what he's doing. It didn't work out here. It was a very, very short period of time, but it didn't work out. And it's not like he had zero talent to work with. It's not like he had zero say in who they brought in. So
And it's also weird that as soon as he left, they got better on the offensive line. Like there's a whole lot that's weird about that entire thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Like better from horrific.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, Daboll he's the star of the staff, and Saleh is more the guy trying to prove himself. It's just how it is.
615-737-1025, our phone number. More of your thoughts to get to on the Titans coming up next. Keep up with Titans training camp with 1025 The Game for the latest updates, player interviews, and more as you get prepped for the upcoming season. Coverage of Titans training camp presented by Tennessee Brew Works, Parman Energy, and the Music City Kickoff Game. More coming up next on Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Today, the Nashville Sounds taking on the Memphis Redbirds. First pitch at 6:45. You can catch all the action on 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks, Family Leisure, Maple Street Biscuit Company, and Social Cantina. Your thoughts on the Titans at 615-737-1025. Discussing the Titans coaching staff. Brian Daboll with some comments on Cam Ward yesterday. And the solid part of this, again, is pretty interesting. We talked about the track record heading into all this. It's stop number 2. You know, he's done some things, said some things in camp so far that I think are interesting. You know, we brought up the one-on-one philosophy and the injury prevention and just kind of his approach to that. One of the things I talked about yesterday, Joe, was it just kind of feels like, I mean, without saying it, he's like, yeah, you know, practice is important, but then it's really not until we put the pads on do I glean anything from it. And then, like, the first day they put the pads on, it's like, yeah, well, it's just, you know, it's the first couple days of pads, so I'm not sure I'm taking much from it. Like, he kind of feels like it's about building up to getting ready for the regular season, and he's not really concerned with the minutia of the day-to-day, as long as players are staying healthy, getting better, putting in the effort, all those things. Although, not a lot of people, not everybody, he's confident in Robert Saleh heading into this year. This was apparently a discussion in New York on WFAN about Robert Saleh leaving the Jets and about how that doesn't necessarily guarantee success in his next stop.
I just don't understand why people think he's going to be a good head coach.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, I understand that the stink of the Jets is a thing, and when people leave the Jets, they seem to get better. But this guy was in over his head. Yeah. And he came across as not a very bright person. Wow. It's true. I mean, I felt like he just didn't have the intellect to really run the team in the way that he needed to. I mean, he just did really stupid things, said really stupid things, was texting with Joe Beningo.
Yeah.
Like, how stupid do you have to be to
the whole thing with the house he was building?
Just did a lot of dumb things.
I don't know.
And then all of a sudden he's now going to become
a genius.
Tom Landry because he left the Jets.
Maybe.
But he's got an offensive coordinator who also failed epically here in New York.
Sure did.
Who's going to be great. I mean, I want that team to go right down the toilet.
Dang!
So the people in New York not rooting for the Titans this year. Not much confidence in the solid Daboll coaching combination that we just talked about.
Yeah, mostly confined to Saleh there. So for people who don't know, he's talking about Joe Benigno. It's Benigno, and it's really tripping me up. Anyway, he was a former WFAN host, and Saleh's going to the show. And so this, I got to say, if you're familiar with this whole thing, I blame the radio guy more than I blame Saleh on that one. He's texting him, and it's like a miscommunication. You know how text can be miscommunication. It appears that's what it was, where basically this guy then goes on the air and is like, no, he doesn't like Zach Wilson. And it was like a miscommunication. And then the guy apologized. I don't know. Like, coaches text with people all the time, man. Like, I mean, believe me, I got texts that, like, if I wanted to just, like, make them public, you know, boy, there'd be some eyebrows raised, but, like, those are sometimes you just have conversations with people.
Ian, is that a humble brag Joe just threw out there?
Maybe a little, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
A little bit, yeah. You know, I really get annoyed when, you know, when Urban Meyer texts me and asks for, you know, my code so we can log into the Athletic. Yeah, so I look at that one as not one I'd put on Saleh. Now, what I would put on Saleh is the trying to find the mole. You know, who's talking to the media, dude. Let's go back to Luke Murray from a few minutes ago. Focus on things that matter. Focus on winning. If you're worried about this or that, people are saying this or that behind it, then you're taking your eye off the ball. That's one that you hope he learns from and gets better from. The Benigno thing, I don't know. I put that more on the other dude than him. I mean, I guess it's lesson learned and you stop texting people, you know, but those should be in confidence unless or you certainly should be like, okay, well, I'm going to say something, right? I mean, I don't put that on him. Now the overall, intelligence thing and bad coaching thing, and I mean, they were bad. They were the Jets.
They're always
How much?
bad.
What's that?
They're always bad.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, like I tend to want to give him the benefit of the doubt again, as long as he gets rid of the whole worried about what people are saying. You're always going to have people in your building talking to somebody, always.
I gotta tell you,
right?
the text line does not like those comments from the New York radio host there. Does not like it. So
Trevor
just adding a little spice to that first game of the year.
Trevor says, so is that like the Jets still, Billy? Fart that guy. Now, there's a lot of fart, a lot of F words being thrown out at these guys.
Not a popular sound clip. We just
the whole attacking his intelligence seems a bit much, right? Like,
how do you know how smart somebody is?
Yeah.
Obviously, he talks publicly or whatever. And there's some people that you probably, like people would tell you, like Rich Kotite, maybe didn't come off as the smartest dude. But I don't think Saleh comes off as unintelligent.
I mean, Matt LaFleur is a horrible football coach, but I don't think he's a totally unintelligent person.
Yeah. You can have general
Shane
intelligence but be bad.
Yeah, Callahan. I thought Brian Callahan seemed like a really smart guy.
Brian Callahan's a very smart guy.
So doesn't always quite work.
Didn't know the rules, but other than that,
Yeah.
it was good.
So I guess
Doesn't like
Saleh
football very much, but he's a
doesn't
very smart
necessarily
guy.
have to be super, IQ to be a great football coach, but seems, plenty smart to me.
I mean, I think first off, I needed this before, but I need the Titans to just go out there and thump the Jets in week 1, because I would love to hear the reaction from those dudes if the Titans just go out there and smoke the Jets in week 1. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, we'll definitely be
the week 1 overreaction.
Oh, it's
both
going to be epic.
Markets could be all-time high after week 1.
Yeah,
Here in New York.
Gotta find out what time that show's on. I might listen to it while we're supposed to be doing our show. And I thought also at the very end of it, it's like he's kind of ripping him, and then he's like, "I hope they die." And I was like, "Whoa, calm down." Liam McLeod says, "Shows how much anyone else pays attention to us. We're already in the toilet."
It's true. He did say he hoped that team just goes down the toilet. It's like, well, buddy, they got to get out first.
Exactly.
Come up.
They're down there with your team.
Yeah, get out of there.
They're.
I saw Mike Florio and Chris Sims were talking about Saleh yesterday on Pro Football Talk, and Sims, I don't know if high is the right word on the Titans, but basically said he would be stunned if they're not like way better than they were last year. So take that for what you will. I don't know what that means. Like, 7 wins is probably way better than you were last year, but that's what Chris Sims says. So
there you
go.
It's and obviously he's been nothing but impressive as a D coordinator. I do think that performance as a head coach, sometimes maybe that person doesn't get the second try. I think that the fact that it was with the Jets made it more likely he was going to get the second shot, right? Like, it's the place is an absolute model for dysfunction. Like the Jets and the Browns, and look, this place, this place is it's in there too. So, but if you're him, you're also in a little bit of a beggars can't be choosers situation.
Well, one of the things Florio was talking about, they brought up the Jets, and it was like, it was clear that he took the wrong job, and now he's got a job in Tennessee. So, what does that look like, right? I don't know. It's right now. It's a fair question. Like, we've talked about all these questions with Saleh, with the Jets. It's also a fair question of, did he just take the right job with the Titans for his second opportunity? Based on the last few years, I don't know.
Yeah. No, man, and I don't know what all was possible. Maybe, I think this was the year to go because it was so impressive, especially with the injuries, what they did. And you just don't know. They're getting older out there. You don't know.
By the way, the Niners are dealing with all these injuries in camp right now. I've seen the Instagram post, the substation. There's a photo somebody took of them on the practice field, and the electrical substation's just in the background. Like, the Niners just don't want to say it, but that's what it is. It's the substation. So, God be with the Titans next week as they go out there to practice.
It's going to be like Star Trek one day, and they're all just going to be like vaporized. Like,
I feel like all we're going to talk. Somebody. Field. I'm knocking on wood as we speak because I really hope this doesn't happen. But somebody's going to get hurt in this joint practice next week, and all we're going to be talking about for like 5 days is the electrical substation in San Francisco.
You're right.
Or Santa Clara.
Get ready.
That'd be fun.
Hashtag substation. Get ready.
I'll take more of your thoughts on the Titans. 615-737-1025. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Hey, Robbie Stanley here. Make sure you select Twin Peaks for your fantasy football draft party. 29-degree draft beers, bites for the whole team, a $50 bonus card for the commish, and an additional $5 bonus card for every drafter. We have had our fantasy league drafts there and love it, so make sure you check it out today. Call to book your draft party at the Twin Peaks Madison location. Visit twinpeaksrestaurant.com/fantasy draft for more information. Once again, that's twinpeaksrestaurant.com/fantasy draft for more information. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. One texter says, as a Niners fan, the substation is real. The victims this year are receivers and D linemen. Hopefully PK is wrong about the Titans receiver depth. Hashtag Restrepo season.
Nice. Well, the PK, that's a terrible take by PK, by the way. I mean, I know, like, I like to just have fun with him, and now that he's officially a known pie thief, like we'll have a lot of fun with that. But seriously, I mean, you tell me. I'm not saying like, oh my God, they just have 5 amazing receivers, but they have 2 backups who
have played,
and like
that part is different.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's not the same.
Usually in camp, we're talking about whether it's Kyle Phillips or whether it's Chester Rogers or who. Like, it's a lot of guys that really haven't played all that much, right? Like, there's not much production to them, but they're making plays in camp, and it's okay. Well, they're making plays in camp every day. So what is that going to look like by the time the season comes around? I mean, look, Io Manor didn't do anything crazy last year, but you are talking about a guy as a rookie 4th round pick that had, what do you have? 500 yards last year, 5 touchdowns. Like, it's not nothing as a rookie.
If he has to start a game, okay. If
right.
DK starts a game, okay. In the past, I guess they've had a little, like they'd have a Khalif Raymond that they would throw in. But I mean, yeah, in the past, there'd be guys who would have to start games. And you're like, no, that's not great.
Well, and I would say that they're slotted now probably where they need to be. Like, I don't necessarily want Io Manor and DK starting for the Tennessee Titans.
Now, if Io Manor, if
they ascend,
he's balling. He's balling right now, maybe. But yeah, it's exactly where he should be. So who owns the Niners?
Who does own the Niners?
Is it still the DeBartolo? The DeBartolo?
No, I have to look it up.
It is.
York, is the president or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, again, like, it's amazing to me. And anything happens in the NFL where it's like, no, we can't afford the grass, or no, sorry, I know that I got the most public money ever, but we're not going to spend the extra money on a retractable roof, et cetera, et cetera. Like, if you own that team, are you not looking into, like, are you not doing everything you can to find out if this stupid substation actually is a real thing? There's a great picture on the text line of it, like the Lord of the Rings tower. That's
just behind it.
Like, I mean, seriously, like, is there actually a chance that this is a thing?
I have no idea.
No,
there's no chance.
No, I don't think so. It's electricity, right?
As far as I know.
I mean, there's electricity everywhere.
This is like my buddy who just texted me and says, I believe we went to the moon, but would you not? But I would not bet my life.
Injuries for the Niners?
I would not bet my life on it. Ian might.
I think I might, yeah.
Okay, he'd bet his life on it. We're about to all die off here betting our lives on things.
I've not committed one way or the other.
It's just weird, though. I mean, and like, yeah, Nate says maybe the substation will give the Titans powers. Yeah.
Like Spider-Man.
But, like, is there anything to this other than internet memes? And, like, how much have they talked? I don't know. Like, if you cover the Niners, how much have they been asked about it? Do the players believe the substation is a thing?
I mean,
it's kind of fascinating to me.
We just heard yesterday a player talk about how he does not believe that Babe Ruth is real.
Yeah, it's true.
So the players talking about, like, I do not care.
I mean, according to Sports Illustrated, the Niners hired a scientist to investigate the substation in March.
Okay, DeBartolo putting some money to you. That's what I'm looking for.
So they looked into it.
Okay. And they came away that it's okay.
This was John Lynch commented on this. This was the quote. We did hire an independent scientist. He basically said it was a big nothing burger. We're safe. We're in a safe place to work. That was the quote from John Lynch.
Are we sure the substation isn't pumping out seed oils into the air?
Well, I don't know.
So
how's that going, we think, with the Titans? Like the seed oils being removed?
I don't know, man. I cooked a really good I made some homemade cashew chicken the other day. It was freaking good. And I did use seed oil because, like, it was just the recipe called for it. So I used it. Like, because canola oil is a seed oil, right?
As far as I know.
I use peanut oil too. I eat 2 types of oils in that, and yet it was amazing. Be proud of me.
Sure.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. No, it was really good. No, but, like, so they investigate it.
Yeah. There's
nothing to it. It's going to persist as an internet thing. The amazing thing is, like, it wasn't.
They just keep getting hurt, though.
Well, it wasn't. Well, I know, but that's the thing. It's like, it wasn't long ago here. Remember, it was like, are the trainers drunk?
Oh, yeah.
Are the, like, what is it's guys? It is the NFL. I mean, the injury rate. If there's a team that's, like, drastically different from everybody else, and the Titans were ahead. The Titans used the most players, all that stuff, but it still was, like, within the reasonable range of a league where everybody gets hurt, right? We always have to find these sinister reasons for injuries. They're playing football. That's probably the reason.
According to artificial intelligence, the 49ers had 254 man games missed to injury last year. Apparently, the Cardinals led the way at 303.
Okay, what have they got going on? There's an In-N-Out burger near there. Is that the problem?
Fred they realized they were the Cardinals, and players decided to stop playing.
They're bad at yeah, exactly. They didn't want to play, so they pretend to be hurt. Fred from Action City says, I always got told when I was young to never buy a house under big power lines because they cause illness and birth defects. I always assumed it was just some wives' tale, but you never know. This is a great conspiracy week on the program.
It is. This is all I'm saying is apparently the Niners have legitimately looked into this, and they came away that it was a quote nothing burger.
I think that I'm glad that they did, honestly. If I owned
the team, better about the Titans going out there.
And Amy Adams Strunk, I think she looked into all these things here when they were going through all this stuff, right?
Sure.
And then you'd have Vrabel. I mean, that was one of my favorite Vrabel press conferences. Like, guys, you talking about the trainers, really? Like what?
I never got hurt and said, man, those trainers out there.
Those damn trainers. And I forget who it was. Who was that screaming on the air? I forget who it was. Mitchell says, I think the Titans pro athletes are a better control group for seed oils than Joe Rexrode. That's a good point.
Rexrode. That's a good one.
I also think that, if these guys had some seed oils, they're 23-year-old elite athletes are probably I don't think the 40 times going down 2/10.
I tell you what, though, there's a lot of talk around here about the off-season training, the Titans and the seed oils. If you ask the Vols, they're going to be the strongest, fastest team in the history of football this year with what they've done in the strength coach department this offseason. So a lot of talk about the working out and the nutrition programs around here.
It is interesting because strength coaches are very important. There's no question. And strength coaches, and this is probably a little bit more of a college football thing, but they actually spend the most time with a football team than anybody. The strength coach knows the guys on a football team better than any other coach. They really do. The entire offseason, that's who's with them, the strength staff. It is important. The guys get hired away, and it makes a big difference. But then sometimes it feels like it's also super overrated. It's isn't there a fair amount of everybody copying? I mean, Iowa is an example of they've been known for just pushing people to the limit. They had a day where a bunch of dudes had kidney issues and all had to go to the hospital. But Iowa turned. I mean, seriously. But they turn these weakling tight ends into first round left tackles and stuff. So there's something to it. But yes, the talk all over the place is something about it.
I mean, you asked listen to the Vols yesterday. You thought the previous staff never made them lift the weight.
Right, exactly.
Working out. You guys are supposed to be working out. Man, I knew we were missing something.
Well, it's that was a Butch thing too. Remember, the Butch.
He was it Butch or was it Pruitt that had the color chart in the urinals, and it was hey, if your urine.
Narduzzi had that.
Yeah, if your urine's this color, you need to drink more Gatorade or whatever it was.
Well, it's Narduzzi had this saying. It was I think he tweeted it out, and it was the certain darkness. It's you are hurting the team.
Yeah.
Stop going to the bar. And then
drink some water.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently the Vols are just going to be incredibly powerful this year. So we'll see how that works out.
It makes a difference. If they have
Wait a minute, you guys are supposed to be lifting weights.
Can you believe too? You think like the old days of the NFL, they actually didn't lift weights at all. Johnny Unitas never did a curl.
Well, then Brady,
one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Didn't Brady reach the point where he stopped lifted weights? He was just doing all the armband pliability stuff.
Yeah. Vrabel made fun of him. That was another good Vrabel press conference. I guess I'm missing Vrabel today.
How's that going so far? We heard anything?
I don't know. Is he bringing a new stuffed animal to every presser so people won't ask him stuff? I don't know.
Hey, Coach, what'd you do on your day off? More coming up next on Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game.
Everyone wants to talk about the offensive and defensive lines. We have to replace our MVP. We have to replace our entire kicking game in terms of place kicking and punting. And Michael Pilardi was a constant force for us last year, whether it was playing field position and punting or the reliability and consistency in the field goal kicking. And so I think that's another storyline as well as, as we continue to develop our football team, how does our kicking game play in it? Because playing great defense is all about field position.
It's amazing that program survived that idiot. It really is. And he wasn't even the worst one. That was Butch Jones.
Oh, God.
Ian was playing that during the break. I was like, please play that coming back.
That's like, so wait a minute. Was that like year one, Butch, when he had Michael Pilardi?
I don't remember.
That's old school Butch. That's before Shy Tuttle got attacked by a helmet, man. Butch had some.
Why do we want from our media?
Yeah, no. By the way, Vingan and you both are telling me that it's Benigno, even though his name is spelled Benigno with a G before the N. That's how it's spelled. But apparently, you say Benigno.
Look, I don't know.
That makes no sense to me.
I don't know, man. So Butch was the urine chart. Dooley was the shower etiquette.
The shower,
it really is amazing that program
in the shower.
survived. Yeah,
yeah. Oh, someone's sending me one from Tom Herman. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, that's what Jake Line was just talking about. You got championship hydration levels. Selfish teammate. Blatant. The light P is championship hydration levels 1, 2, and 3. 4 and 5, they're more yellow. Selfish teammate. 6 and 7, it's almost getting orange. Blatant disregard for your teammates. You are headed to Area 51, and then number 8, which is like I think is peeing blood, says you are a bad guy. You are a bad guy with your dark urine.
I love how they call it the hydration chart. You think Salah's got one? I need somebody on the Titans to ask if Salah's put up a hydration chart in the building. All gas, no break.
Yeah, that's I don't know. Does his hydration chart detect any seed oils in the urine?
That's a good question.
Oh,
look, all I'm saying is there's been so much talk this offseason about seed oils with the Titans and Tennessee's new strength coach that we better see some tough football teams out there this year. That's all I'm saying. Better see some tough teams.
Absolutely. Some tough, big, strong,
fast,
mean, and light peeing teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we need to see.
That's what we need
this year. I mean, so we got the first 2 days of pads over with in camp here. Again, we mentioned earlier in the show the highlight from yesterday, the bomb from Ward to Tate down the field. So good to see that. Need to see more of that as camp rolls on here. But, we had Kuharsky on earlier in the show. It's one of those things where you're getting to the point now where this time next week they'll be in Santa Clara. They'll be going through some meaningful, like I do. I mentioned training camp practices. I don't really like. I do like the joint practices. I think you can get some stuff from that. I think you get meaningful reps, and you see how you stack up against other actual NFL teams. So you're getting close to that point. We'll have a preseason game to evaluate not too far from now, where you're going to see some of these guys play. It was interesting to hear about, I asked about Anthony Hill at linebacker with PK.
He's fun.
And
Anthony Hill's fun, by the way.
Anthony Hill's very fun if you watched his press conference yesterday. But, I mean, PK kind of unprompted brought up James Williams and the way that he's playing and the weight that he's lost. And Robert Saleh was asked about him a couple of days ago. Apparently making a big impression out there so far.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, would this be an example of Rand microwaving something a little bit?
I believe it would.
I mean, that's the thing. I remember at the time you're talking about that pick, and it's like, I mean, this was like a 5-star, one of the best athletes in college football. Obviously, he's a tweener and all that stuff, but pretty cool to see him stick with it and get better. And who knows, man? As PK said, I mean, he might fit pretty well in this defense. And again, there's another position where you feel like there's actual depth, just like, despite what Professor PK says, at receiver.
I would also say that I feel like we hear about James Williams at camp every year, and then the season comes around and we don't hear or see much from him.
Yeah, like he's a special teams guy for sure. But yeah, no, that's fair. But it's still
the
it is
change
a new
in
system.
body this offseason too. If you're losing 20 pounds,
right?
That's pretty significant.
So you're slimmer, faster, and you're in this attacking defense. So it's interesting.
I mean, the last time we were talking about a Titan losing a bunch of weight was Jeff Simmons. Worked out pretty well last year. So yeah, let's do that. Let's do that comparison. Jeffrey Simmons and James Williams.
It did work out. And I think I could be wrong, but I feel like he looks like he might be even in better shape this year. Simmons.
Jeff? Yeah. The left hook was looking good yesterday.
Yeah. I feel like maybe JC Latham's not his favorite. I know this is
get that vibe.
Heat of the moment, but there's a lot of Jeff getting mad at JC Latham. Ed's wondering if I was born next to an electrical substation in South Detroit. It's a fair question, Ed.
What's the answer?
No, I actually was born in Battle Creek, Michigan. I mean, we have a lot of cereal plants there. I don't know what that means, but I don't know, man. World's biggest breakfast table. Mitchell says only cannabis seed oils are detected in the urine. Is that right?
You're asking the wrong person. I don't know.
Les PK. He knows.
How many electrical substations are in Battle Creek, Michigan? Apparently, no publicly available information. So that's something you'll have to independently verify as to whether or not you were born next to one.
Interesting. Okay. How many substations? Like how?
Oh, those are secret. Top secret.
But we know about the one that's right next to the Niners practice field, looming over everyone.
You can take a photo of that one. According to AI, there are approximately 55,000 electrical substations in the U.S.
Okay.
That's a lot.
Is that actually the cause of all the world's ills and we just don't know it?
Oh, man. Look, all I can tell you is the Niners have hired a scientist, and the scientist came back and said it's no big deal. That's all I can tell you. So if you're a Titans fan, you ought to feel great next week going into practice.
Got it. You're so right, though.
If one person gets hurt.
Someone's going to twist an ankle, and we're going to be talking about the freaking substation.
Yep.
God.
It is going to happen.
Texter says Simmons can just tell a bust when he sees it. Well, I do think that Simmons is like –
he wants to bring more out of Latham.
He'd like to win.
Well, this goes back to I mean, it's not just like the Latham happened to be the guy he threw the punch at yesterday. And it goes back to last year who was it? Was it Michael Silver came into town and talked about how Simmons basically made the Titans restart a whole period of practice because he didn't feel like Latham was trying hard enough, and he calling out younger offensive linemen in a press conference last year. Like it's not the first time that it's been just like Simmons and Latham right after something.
Yeah. And look, if you're Jeff Simmons, you hate losing, you want to win. He's always been that guy. And you probably see a very talented guy across the way in Latham. You know where he was drafted. You know it's in there.
And he hasn't maximized it.
Yeah,
yet.
and he hasn't figured it out. And so I get it.
I get
obviously
it.
Latham has gone good for Latham. I thought his presser was good, talking about all the working on the mental side of the game. It's a huge part of it. I mean, a huge part of it. So that's great. But you still have to put it out there on the field.
Ian
and avoid Jeff Simmons' right hook.
Ian on the YouTube chat asking if seed oils contribute to gout. Do we have any thoughts?
Not that I know of. Again, I used peanut oil to initially cook, kind of fry the chicken, because cashew chicken is breaded, so you fry it, and then canola oil for the overall big dish with everything in it. There's a little bit of canola oil in it, so. But that's just my recipe. You guys don't have to
do whatever you want.
Yeah. Is peanut oil a seed oil? I don't even know if that's true. It's peanut. I don't know.
It's a good question. I have to double check on that. I almost bought some corned beef hash the other day at the store.
Peanut oil.
Almost.
Well,
it was a weekday. It was during the week. It was on Monday. I was like, I'm not going to be able to cook this until the weekend anyway. So.
I almost enjoyed life and had ice cream and, looked at a rainbow. I mean, it's like a no-brainer, bro. You got to buy the corned beef hash.
I'll have to try and snack some later in the week. Make it this weekend.
I'm going to make some homemade corned beef hash and bring it in.
Peanut oil is generally considered a seed oil, according to artificial intelligence.
Okay, so I'm a seed oil
fiend.
Glutton.
Yeah.
I was going to say another word. Glutton. Let's go with that.
I'm glad you chose the other word.
Thank you.
That's going to do it for us today here on the program. Hope everybody
Great
has
show.
a wonderful rest of the day. What a last hour that was.
Woo!
Put it in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back tomorrow. Next Man Up with Jake Lyman coming up next. You're listening to 102.5 The Game.